Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 and welcome home to Sweet Home, Alabama, here down in Barber Motorsports Park. It is Super Bowl Sunday here on this Super Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warriors race presented by RaceVoice, and we're here at our favorite track. It's Barber Motorsports Park. I'm Austin. I'm joined by Charles Michelle. We got Jonathan Grabowski in the production booth, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV. Charles, it's Alabama, baby. How are you feeling?
Man, I wished I was out here, but I'm glad I'm doing the broadcast. This is the next best thing to actually being at the track. So looking forward to another great SRF race.
And we're here on the short version of Barber Motorsports Park. There was a little bit of a uneasy feeling heading into this week because not a lot of people or anybody on iRacing really has raced this layout before. I was checking the stats of how many times this layout was actually used in iRacing. I can name the amount of times that it was used on one hand.
Wow.
It's 5.
5.
Well, you know, not a lot. But I'm going to tell you, after this week, I can say it's probably going to be used a lot more because that chicane that it puts on the track, we have a very good overtaking opportunity and a good battle opportunity. You go down to the inside, it will set you up for the first part of the corner, but the second part of the corner would be stuck out to dry, but that will set you up for the inside line when we head into the second chicane, and you can try to carry the speed on through there, or you could go around the outside, purposely give up that inside line and try to hold it around out on the outside. It's a good side-by-side battle opportunity. There is a big undulation in the terrain as well. So when you get on the throttle is going to be all important to avoid wheel spinning.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you're talking about the kind of the reconfigured Charlotte's Web, which is normally the hairpin in for the full length circuit. Yeah, and it's weird because if you've ever been at the track, and I've been out there a lot because it's 15 minutes from my house, so it's it's convenient. I've seen everything from radicals to Indy cars on this track. The way the corner's made is the rain runs off to the outside of the track, so it's going to be, as you're going into this, it's going to be anti-camber. So you're going to basically kind of be sliding out the entire time, and so it's going to make, like you said, some good side-by-side racing. It's going to be interesting to see how these cars tackle reconfigured chicane.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of cars struggling to keep their tires on the track, or if you're Yanchi Lin, just missed the pit lane entirely. Pit lane on this track, I would say, is in the more reasonable of pit lanes. The pit lane entrance is a little bit weird. It's kind of got that Montreal-esque entering in the braking zone type thing, but it's a very tight pit lane entry. So I believe we should be fine and don't really be seeing any pit lane dramas happening. It's a very tight thing, though. So if you carry a little bit too much speed, you could get a little ding here, a little doink there. But other than that, I believe we all should be fine. As we're looking at that reconfigured Charlotte's Web for a moment, heading through there. Let's ride on board of Chris Montgomery right now, as we can just get a view of the track. This is here at the carousel, turns 2 through 3. Into this little ravine and then up the hill to turn 4. If you've driven on this track in real life, you get a good pitch of airtime right there in your stomach. Then you slam on the brakes, heading down the hill, head into the reconfigured Charlotte's Web, hit that inside curve, then up the hill. It's a very sharp rise. Watch for the wheel spin off the exit, and then into one of my favorite parts of the track. You fly down low, then you go back up high like a roller coaster. A little bit of airtime here as well. Avoid the cars that are spinning out on the inside. It's a very easy thing to do if you go out just a little bit wide. Then into the penultimate corners, the hanging right-hander, and then throw it into that banked left-hander, and that is going to be your flying lap of Barber Motorsports Park. Short A, it's a short but sweet layout. Here, we're getting times averaging almost a minute, so it's going to be a good chunk of laps done around here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you were looking at somewhere around a 40-lap race, which would be great. It's going to be some great racing, as you said, as we see them going through the roller coaster section there. If you ever get a chance to watch motorcycles here, that is one of the two spots that as you come back up that hill, they actually will get air as we see them coming through Charlotte's Web, going over the tunnel, and then that drop down is also where the bikes will get airborne. So there's obviously a lot of elevation changes through here, very tight.
That's going to be a big incident heavy spot right there. Just on that outside line, it's so easy to just dip a wheel on the outside, and when that happens, you're either letting off the gas and hopefully nobody's behind you, or you're going for a ride.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of those that you really have to get. As we see on spin. And I think that's just because of the camber, the way that corner's cambered is
easy to lock up.
It's easy. It's easy to lock up, but it's also easy just to lose the rear end. Even with the hairpin section, you see it. I've seen it with every make and model of car that's ever been on this track. Somebody will lose the rear just trying to get back on the throttle through there. Yeah,
it's such a weird part of the track how it drops away. Whenever I drive here, I've always told myself I brake before the drop, because when you go drop, the car kind of lifts off the ground, and it makes it so easy to lock up. Done it in Mazdas, done it in USF when they came here. It's Skip Barber when they come here all the time. It's so easy to do. So I've always kind of been one of the early breakers on this track, and so I'm kind of in that zone of where I never lock up. Unfortunately, though, that's not how you go fast around here.
It's not, but it is the safe way to do it. And you're right, as you come, safe is fast. You come down here to this braking zone. It's very similar to, I would say, turn 6 at Road America, which is under the, which after that hard 90-degree left, and then you go up the hill under the bridge, and the braking point, the braking point is basically right where you want to. Right where you lose traction. So the car drops out and you're wanting to be on the brakes. And so you just have to brake early. It's the safest way to do it. Is just brake a half a beat early, get the car settled down so you can make the corner successfully and fight on.
Now battling for this corner is going to be very interesting. We just saw Megan Overstreet pass through there. She avoided the apex of Charlotte's Web, the first left-hander, which sets itself up for the right-hand side, which will be the more tighter of the line, and it has that curb on the inside. if you were driving this in a battle, would you want to be on the outside, getting benefits on the exit of the second corner, but have to deal with that curb, or be on the inside and having benefits of the first part of the turn?
I think it really just all depends on your driving style and if you're comfortable riding that curb. If you're comfortable riding that curb, obviously having the inside line to the second part of that is probably preferable, because then you can get the run out of the corner and then set yourself up for the tunnel. So yeah, I think I would want to be on the right side, but you'll see tons and tons of people dive down on the left to try and get to the inside part of that.
All right, well, we got a little bit of time to burn from this early start here today, so let's just run through the points right now here, and 4 minutes left in qualifying, as we got a nice little view of a good drift by the 933 of Jim Brewster. It's Marco Pinero leading the championship points by a good heckin' change, ahead of Jason Green and Kane Lasky. They're followed by Felix Simons and Megan Overstreet. Your top 5 right now. The biggest fight, I would say, would be between the fight for third place between Kane Lasky and Felix Simons. Everyone else is separated by a good amount of points. Jason Green and Kane Lasky could also get into a fight with each other, but nobody can really touch Marco Pinero. We go over to Charles for our Spec 2 points.
All right, so Todd Hansen leading the Spec 2 championship, 350 points, followed closely by Ian Gibson, Bradford Gore, Daniel Wood in P4, and Paul Jackson in 5th. And it's a little tighter battle over here in the Spec 2 class as it is in Spec 1. So only a gap of about 74 points between P1 and P5. So that's still a lot to be decided there.
Yeah, Spec 2 is always going to be a lot of fun to watch. Over to the Masters. Well, if you want to see a lot of fun, this is a lot of fun right here. Separated just by 1 point, Chris Murakami in the lead ahead of York Monty. They're followed by Tom Gradwell right behind him, and Adam Bradshaw. Top 4, all in the 300s and all separated about by 50 points. So at any moment in this Masters race, the champion is going to be decided out of all these 4 drivers, and it's just going to happen within 1 lap. Also, don't count out Jeff Kane for the top 5, all within 100 points of each other. So this championship is wide open as well. We can include the 6th and 7th in there, but it is looking very nice in the Masters category, as we're looking at Chris Murakami sitting in 4th place right now. 2nd place in the Masters. York Monty is once again up in the lead, but does his qualifying pace can meet his race pace here today? We're going to find out. I'm expecting lap 1 around here to be just a tad chaotic.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a little chaos in turn 1. It's not as difficult as a lot of tracks. It's a little bit of more of a kink than it is a corner. You do have to brake for it, but
yes,
it's not very tight. So it's just feeding you into turn 2. I think the biggest thing is it wants to push you out turn 1 to roll to the right hand side of the track for turn 2. So obviously, 2 wide to start is probably not going to be possible, but yeah, it should make for some great action at the beginning of the race. Hopefully everybody keeps it clean. And so we can get through the rest of this, but you'll see lots of people, obviously, as we talked about earlier, this track's not really, even the full circuit's not really used very much in iRacing. It's one of the lowest usage tracks in iRacing overall.
Especially for series that are non-American based.
Yes, for sure. I mean, they've tried multi-class here, and it just doesn't really work. The open wheel cars are fantastic around this track, as they should be, because Indy comes here every year. But yeah, so it's not a lot of experience for most drivers here.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and as you said, it is not used a lot, but it is such a nice track that when you hop on here, you kind of want to go, I want to do that again when you leave it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's got a great flow to it. And once you start sticking the line around here, the roller coaster is amazing to drive. once you get the feel of throttle control working your way through the hairpin, through the web, it's just a fun track. And I hate that we're using the short version because, the museum chicane on the backside of the track, and then the S's are so much fun, but very dangerous. So I can understand why they would want to go to the short version for this, because there's not a lot of room for error back on that side of the track.
Yeah, I was looking at a stat for the Barber track list. Now, it does not include the layouts in this track list, but it's about 20 from the bottom of low usage.
Yeah, and I think it's picked up recently. Like I said, they've run some, they've added some series to this that, once again, I don't think the IMSA series works well here. I think the here's the grid.
Yeah, 22 from the bottom, and that includes a few legacy tracks in there,
right?
That are not used. Funny thing in that legacy track list, I see Rockingham Speedway, which will get somebody really triggered.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're talking about the one in UK.
Oh wow.
Which is surprisingly right across, right in Corby, where Apex Racing TV Studios is located at. So, hey, we got a hands-on look at that car park right now. So, we're sitting here, kind of like a car park here in Sweet Home, Alabama, on the front straight here at Barber Motorsports Park. So let's take a nice stroll through this southern afternoon and get ready for this race with Marco Pinero starting up on pole, followed by York Monty starting up on pole for the Masters. They're followed by Dudu Castro and Chris Murakami, Felix Samoas and Kane Lasky, Eduardo Dantas and Michael Nelson, Paulo Gordy and Steve Elson, as well as Todd Hansen and Jason Green right behind them. Behind it's Bradford Gold, Simon Meyer, Luca Leone, Jim Brewster, Megan Overstreet, Yanshi Lin, Devin Keller, Tom Gradwell, Andrew Love, and Jeff Jacobson, Sergio Dorelli, and last week's Spec 2 winner, Aaron Vagley, in 24th. They're followed by Andre Vini, Chris Montgomery, Anthony Carbone Jr., real-life Spec Racer Ford driver, starting in 27th. They're followed by Marco Trespidi, Paul Jackson, Ian Gibson, Stephen Mitchell, Dan Wood, Adam Bradshaw, Phil Berry, and Trenton Kramer, followed by Gary Woodbolt in 36th. In 37th, it's Brad Cathcart, Gianni Longhin, and Rob Kern, Kurt Nuance, and Mike Knudsen, Ben Jacobs, Kulin Pietro, and Rob Butcher, and Russ Lundenberg at the end of our 45-car grid. Russ did not put in the lap time, and I believe we're going to have 2 cars starting for the pit lane with Russ and Polo right there. Stevie Ray is not on track, so I can't really throw it over to his car.
Yeah. I think Stevie Ray is not participating today. I think he said he was doing the family thing. So
yes, there is a big American tradition happening this weekend. So I totally understand if some drivers wanted to sit out on this. Unfortunately for us commentators, we have to be here.
Yeah, that's all right. It'll be over, and we'll get a chance. We'll get a chance.
Stevie
later,
may not be here, but who is always here for each week, week in and week out, is RaceVoice. We want to say thank you to RaceVoice for powering the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warriors Racing Series week in and week out here on iRacing and Apex Racing TV. We like to thank them every time and everything they do for us here on Apex, and for these guys here from Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warriors and the Ray Esports Racing League that happens every Tuesdays here on Apex Racing TV, as our Porsche safety car is heading into the pits right now. The field is in Marco Pinero's control as they're set up on the right-hand side. Everybody coming around that final corner. The front of the field is all poised and ready to go as we go green, green, green here at Barber. And already I see a few rows back. They're going 3 wide down the front straightaway. Pinero defending onto the inside. Monty was looking onto the outside. They're followed by Dudu Castro. Chris Murakami gets a very good run on Felix Samoas right there. Murakami sneaking his way in through turns 2 and 3 onto the inside of that 30 of Dudu Castro and Felix Samoas. Dudu is a little bit clear. Felix looking out to the inside, has to back out of that one. Doesn't want to go for it. Our first time into the chicane. Watch for Murakami. He sets up onto the outside, but here comes Kane Lasky down to the inside. And now our first look, Kane Lasky on the outside, but look, that outside line much slower than Murakami, who's able to sneak his way down low right there. That chicane already proven a hot spot favorite for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch this. You've got the 3 front runners for Spec 1. Pinero, Castro, Samoa is running first, third, and fourth. And then you've got Monty and Murakami, the 2 Masters leaders, second and fifth. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. I know Castro, he's had a lot of bad luck this season. So let's hope he can keep it together today and get a good finish out of it.
Yes, our first lap is in the books, and already we have one car that is up 5 spots with the best start. That would be Anthony Carbone Jr. up 5 spots, sitting in 22nd right now. And Anthony doing a very fantastic job opening this race in. The car right in front of Tom Gardwell must watch out, because Anthony down the inside for 21st.
It was a great move to the inside there. Just outbroke the 909 car.
Well, he saw that move happen, and just like the Eagles tonight, he let that fly.
Good pull.
Had to get that one in there.
Yeah. Yeah, so Carbone, obviously being an actual SRF driver, is going to kind of know how this car reacts. Obviously, so
he's a little bit skilled in that area.
Yeah,
as Monty and Pinero swap for the lead. Pinero and Monty, well, I can tell you why they're happening. That Monty's challenging out Pinero on the outside. Pinero having to leave the space for Monty on the outside. Monty getting a little bit of side draft, pressuring him onto the inside. Watch for Dudu Castro right behind him. Is he going to be joining Pinero? Monty for the lead down into Charlotte's Web. He makes that work. Pinero right behind him. Dudu Castro almost gets tapped in the back by Felix Samoa's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper with each other right here. But our new race leader is Jorg Monty. Our new fastest lap holder is Kane Lasky, though, who is also in there behind Chris Murakami right there. 1st through 6, all within the same camera shot. You can also throw 7th, 8th, and 9th in there as well.
Yeah, it's still early days yet, but yes, already just great battles on the track. And once again, they're taking advantage of this. This track is pretty big for the spec racer. Obviously, there's some cars, that drive here that you don't get the luxury of being able to go through the ride down the front straight.
I'm expecting a U.S. Open Wheeler B reference very soon.
Though that has happened. They also did, a lot for several years. When the U.S. Open Wheel Series came here, some of the support races with Porsche Cup and the Lambo Super Trofeo Series, and the Lambos.
Castro has passed Pinero. Pinero losing another spot, and Dantes has had an issue behind them. Dantes is around.
I can't tell if he spilled or just ran out of room there.
I feel like there's a little bit over application of mustard. Well, we're going to find out right now what has happened to Eduardo. He's pretty far behind Kane Lasky, and car behind him. Yeah, this is just the over app. Oh, he really hit that curb, and then he got a little bit of tap from behind him.
Yeah, a little bit of help. But yeah, just the wrong entry line. Took it too far on the inside, caught the curb. Probably got the car a little squirrely, and so had to kind of hold a bit, which, helped the contact.
He attacked that chicane like the GT cars were attacking the Baku City Street Circuit for the GT Championship, which is home to the world's most useless chicane.
The world's most useless chicane.
If you haven't seen it on Twitter, it's the greatest thing ever. They put like a little speed bump right there, and there's this GT3 car just going full send over
Carbone's off.
And Carbone! Oh, Eduardo is off. Carbone was off. He's back on now, but he has fallen all the way down to 40th place, so his advantage for knowing the track and having 5 spots made up, well, it's gone down, and this is how that's happened. He's racing side by side with another driver. Does he? Uh-oh. Well, he just tapped the brakes right in front of somebody else.
Yeah, he was offline, so he lost kind of the benefit of the camber of the track there.
And this is what happened to Dantas again in Charlotte's Web. So he's not having that. You can see all the chaos happening behind him. As he is right behind. Oh, my smoking!
Just missed the breaking point.
There.
He might have just did what we were talking about earlier and was as we get more spins.
No! Anthony Carbone, well, it's one incident after another between these two. Carbone's just been in 2 chaotic laps right there in the same corner. Now, we join at the tail end of that, but I'm pretty sure we don't need to. Oh, he's gone off the track right here. He's already a little bit loose, but when he gets back on track, the cars is going to be, oh man, was that Dantas?
Oh, wow.
Turning the 383 straight into Carbone Jr. So if Barber, Dantas, and Anthony Carbone, well, man, if there was a incident clubs, they'd be the incident bros. I would say they're going to be the X factor of this race.
Yep, Dantas is already in the pits. Sure,
also that's also the title of my iRacing team when I race at Bathurst. Constant car contact 0x. You can tell which one that was.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I've done that myself a few times. I've stopped driving Bathurst because of it.
I wanted to attempt the jump, like the last lap, but I don't know if I can still commentate on races if I was disqualified. So I decided to wait one more lap. Don't ask me where we finished. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not good. It's more than less than 40. So we are side by side, and the 5 of Mayer setting in on Keller. Keller had a good start. Start of this race, up 5 spots. Simon Mayer, he didn't have the best start, but now he's slowly bringing his positions up through the grid. That was his 1 spot up from where he started in 14th place. Looking up through the field, our biggest mover is actually it's a tie between the Argentinian driver of Sergio. Well, it's now no longer just Sergio Girelli. It is just Sergio Girelli, and Yanji Lin getting into the back of the car ahead. Then the 86. Well, if there's a commentator's curse, that's what that looks like.
Yeah,
he went for 7th, he went to 8th, and then he went to 9th, and unfortunately, he went into the grass. He did what Carbone did heading into Charlotte's Web. Look down to the inside. This is what Dantas actually did. He got onto the curve. The back end of that car just got extremely loose. Yeah, he didn't even touch the grass. He touched Yanchi Lin, actually. But Sergio Girelli did save it, but, you know, I'm sorry about the commentators because that is literally as it happened, as a curve flies.
That absolutely, I think that was just the improper mustard application there. As you like to call it. So yeah, just too hard back on the throttle.
Super easy to do.
Super easy to do here.
This is Gold versus Overstreet. Overstreet versus Mayer behind her. Right on board of Simon right now. I feel like he's got it into the group. Just took him a few laps to get ready for it. And Megan! Big wiggle and slide and a save by Megan, and breaks right in front of Simon. Simon right behind the drifting Megan Overstreet. She also had an incident like that at Circuit of the Americas in the Ray Esports Racing League, where she drifted all around turn 13 of the hairpin. She posted that highlight on her YouTube channel the other day, and I saw that. I'm like, I don't know how you did that. Well, she's obviously been practicing. And Jonathan just gave us an amazing fact of Megan winning Mid-Ohio at Ray Esports without practice, which I find hard to believe, but that is very impressive. Oh, she bought the track 15 minutes before? Wow. Yeah. Well, more reasons for you to watch the Ray Esports Racing League as Dudu Castro's on the track. Jorg Monty was battling side by side with Dudu defending onto the inside. Chris Mercado gets tapped from behind. trying to sneak down to the inside of Dudu Castro, who's defending on the inside. Murakami is not going to be happy about that. He was kind of just wedged into there. Was there contact between Felix Samoas and Murakami? There goes Dudu. Watch Dudu's track rejoin. He realizes that he's going to be losing speed, so he goes down to the inside. He leaves. Okay, it was a tap by Felix behind him.
Samoas. Yeah,
but
Samoas
Dantes was kind of holding him into a very tight spot. Everybody saw Dantes Dudu Castro join the track right there, and then just start getting onto the brakes. So everyone, you know, when you see that car get off the track, you're like, I'm passing this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like everybody was just trying to go for that same spot, and it was not working. Dudu did leave room, though.
He did. He did. Yeah, it's, you know, this section back here, once you come through tunnel, you come over this hill, and you have to have the right line. If you're out wide, it's very difficult to get the car corralled back in, because just of the way the track's kind of angled there. So he did a good job of catching the car, but yeah, it was just, you know, everybody on the inside licking their chops, thinking they're going to pick up some positions, and it just didn't work out that way.
And you're going to be happy because on the top of our leaderboard is the Masters class of Jorg Mani leading out this race. He's got Marco Panero right on there, but he's going to be leading a lap as a Masters driver, and I feel like you're going to be very happy about that.
I'm trying not to curse him. Is what I'm trying not to do.
He's got 30 minutes to go, so I think you should be fine on curse range. But currently he's in the lead. As Todd Hansen goes down to the inside, leading out Spec 2, and that's a car off. That's Samoas. It's Felix. Went for a little bit of a spin.
It kind of feels like a missed breaking point, being over in the sand.
There might be a little bit of more storm. Oh, big contact on the outside.
3 wide.
There was a lot of things that just happened right there. I think that was Simon Meyer getting side by side as
I was going to say,
Felix diving into the pits.
Lasky,
Ellison. I feel like there might have been an issue with this incident with Felix, because Felix is not one to mess up a breaking point. So he looks down to the inside of Dudu Castro. They make contact, and bang by Kane Lasky. So a multi-car incident. Dudu Castro, Kane Lasky, and Felix Samoas all got into each other, and Dudu Castro stayed out there. He was very he left the space on the inside, but it was a very hard sell if you were going down to the inside of Dudu Castro heading into that quarter.
Yeah, and Castro's had issues. I think that will say issues. They've had he's had contact with Samoas before.
There's beef.
There's beef. There's some salt. There's some beef.
A little bit of barbecue rub in there as well.
So, probably. So I think Castro obviously came out better for that contact. He's still on the track, still running P3, and so maybe that's the last time we'll see those cars together. Doesn't feel like.
We got 4 rounds left.
Yeah,
but we got 3 rounds left after this, so anything is possible. But hopefully it's not.
Yeah, hopefully it's not. We like clean racing. We like seeing beef.
We don't like seeing beef unless it's on a grill.
Yes.
And then on a plate.
Correct. That is how that works.
I'm already thinking about tonight. Gosh dang it. We're Americans. We can make that. We can just talk about that easily.
27 looking to the inside of the 86 car.
Feeney.
It's for Vini.
Looking all right. Leone right behind him. Luca had a little bit of problem as this is Dudu Castro heading into the pit lane. Doesn't look like he has damage, but he's certainly been in incidents that would cause damage, so I think this just might be a little bit safe. He might have been looking at his lap times, just comparing it to Marco Panero or Jorg Mani, as they're swapping spots again between each other to fight for the lead.
Still fighting, yeah. Yeah, it seemed like they were having a nice battle in turn 2 and 3, just every lap almost.
Well, Mani getting the draft of Panero. Panero defending onto the inside. Mani looking around to the outside. They're going to be side by side. Mani actually backing away from Panero, heading to the brakes. Panero hopping over that inside curb and keeping the lead of this race. But good scrap between these two.
I feel like Castro probably is just taking the early pit stop, trying to get the undercut.
Yes.
It feels like that's what's going on.
Because it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to pass here.
It really is. There's some opportunities, but as we've seen, you have to be pretty much perfect to make it all work. And you need a little help with the cars that are battling with. Okay, so now we've got Adam Bradshaw plus 11 for the race. That's pretty good. We've got Kurt Nunez, 14 positions gained. One of our Masters drivers, just out there riding around and collecting those bonus positions as people are wrecking and having to go in and take their fast repairs.
Street leading out Green and Mayer as Gold is leading out this train. Just trying to just find that spot to just get into this little group and improve their time. They're all that draft, and now it's just always trying to find out the overtaking opportunities here. A little bit of a wider line by Gold for Overstreet to try to make that move. Green right on Overstreet's tail. Let's ride on board Jason Green right now. I was confused because he's changed his iRacing car on the livery from lime green to not so green. It's still green. It's not as green. It's a good green. It's a good green. And rejoin 38. That is Ben Jacobs.
Okay. So obviously got a little out of shape there. Had to collect it.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of actually no, it didn't. It looked similar to a car, but I'm guessing I'm just freaking out right now as Jason Green goes a little bit off the track, dips a wheel on the outside track. Simon Mayer is going to see that and try to use that to his advantage and try to chase him down. But this group is pretty much followed the leader right now, up and down through the field. Good fights, good train.
Yeah.
As we go down to our battle for 15th, being led out by Jim Brewster, chased down by Sergio Dorelli, Andrea Pavini, and Luca Leone. Right behind him, Jeff Jacobson's at the tail end of that fight, but he's a little bit farther away. Dorelli defending from Favini. Favini was looking around to the outside, heading into Charlotte's Web, but Dorelli was able to hold that inside line, but Dorelli got a very good line through there, chasing down Brewster. Look at this.
I kind of feels like we're in that mid-race lull. Everybody just kind of trying to work their way into their pit stop window so they can get back out, fight to the end of the race. So they're just content to just ride the line. And if they keep doing this, they'll start bringing those cars in front a little closer to them.
Yeah, if there was a time to be listening to a little bit of Leonard Skinner right now, it would be about this time. Just get your way to the pit lane and get your car fueled up, and then it's push on to attack. Brewster having an incident. Montgomery is falling down the field. What has happened to Montgomery? Was there a little bit of correlation with them? It's all kicking off right here. Well, we were saying that this was the time for things to be calm. Well, they've all kicked off, and hey, we should make predictions more often about boring racing.
Absolutely. If we just keep saying that, this is so everybody's in line, and then all of a sudden,
that would be a lot.
Too wide.
This is really good racing.
Yeah, too wide into the web, and so we'll keep watching it. Looks like it's just kind of a couple of swaps for positions. Maybe the 38 car, I'm not sure if he's got damage or not. It just seems like he's a little bit off the pace and maybe holding this line up just a tad.
He is 40th.
Okay. Well, that would make sense then.
Yes, there is a little bit of, oh, whoa. What is going on right here? 38 of Ben Jacobs. It looks like he is racing the 86, who is not on the same lap as him. So there is definitely going to be some words mixed with each other as they go too wide right behind him into Charlotte's way. Oh, off goes the 86 of Dorelli. Now, there's going to be a post-race report after this, I can tell you.
I think so. I think basically that was the 38 holding, and then probably broke a little earlier than most of the other cars in that lap. Unfortunately for the 86, caught him out.
Yeah, we woke up this morning, if you're a fan of watching sim racing across multiple platforms, with the Rensport ESL R1 over at IAM Katowice. The Apex Racing team was over there. That's why I was watching it. Yeah, exactly as you said. That happened. Broke early. There's a little bit of bumping and banging, and we had our first report to the stewards, physical reports to the stewards of a sim racing live event ever. And you can see a little bit of beef right there, but it was like the most calm thing. They were both laughing, gave each other a handshake and everything. Stewards like, and the stewards asked, hey, how was it side by side of bumping and banging wheels? And it was, ooh. This is Andrea Favini off the track and in the wall. Oh, and that car is sparking.
Big damage on the front.
Yeah, you can see the sparks actually going from the front all the way to the back of the car. Like the front right is not on the car. Oh no, it was already broke. What has happened here? So he's already missed the pit lane and he's had a damage. Favini's.
I was gonna say, did he
miss the pit entry? Well, there's the penultimate corner. There's a pit entry. Is this a little bit of too much mustard off the exit? Yep. Boom.
That pit wall concrete.
Front left is not on that car. He's off again, by the way.
Yeah, he's obviously got steering damage. He's just trying to limp it back around.
He's doing a very nice job too. Unfortunately, though, there goes Marco Pinero. If anyone else is trying to enjoy the pits right behind him, it's going to be a hard sell. But if you look at the front left of that car, it is not attached. But Favini is dragging that thing into pit lane. He's doing a fantastic job of getting that thing around there on a tripod. As this is Todd Hansen, our Spec 2 leader, heading into the race. As Spec 2 lead goes to Bradford Gold.
Yeah, we should start seeing the pits fast and furious from now for the next, 6 or 7 minutes.
I feel like they might go for, I feel like you're about right for 7 minutes. The pits will be a buzzing pit lane, buzzed up to life. But Favini's opportunity to do the undercut like we were watching him do, I think it's not going to happen now.
Yeah, a little shout out to Jan Schulin, also 12 positions. He's in P6 overall.
Yeah, he wasn't comfortable with this car when the season started. I asked him if we'll be seeing him throughout the season. And he goes, I don't know. But if there's something that might pique my interest, I might hop in there. He actually was giving a little bit of tips to Spec 2 driver Andrew. Great. Aaron. Vaguely. And that got him out to a top 10 finish and the Spec 2 victory last week. I don't know how I messed up his name right there, but I messed up his name all that time in that broadcast, so I'm just using this time to get it right.
That's right. Yeah.
But he did get a big shout out from Aaron after that. His setup trick really helped him, and it really shows. So, Yanshi Lin, he wasn't very comfortable with this car, but he's having a little bit of fun out there, up 12 spots.
That's right. They're having a good race.
Yeah, he's looking for 5th place right now. There's Gold right ahead of him. You can see he takes a wider line for the better exit heading into this roller coaster. And he's just kind of just stalking him right now, finding that better spot. He's got the 4. There's a lap car of the 442 right in front of him. And yeah, Lynn's going into the pit lane, I believe. Will this be the best point to do it? But no, he's getting a better line, but that was blocked immediately by 297.
Nice wide entry into that corner.
Pinero's just been scored as out. Okay, he's having connection issues, but he's back in there and he's back in the lead. But my heart did sink for a little bit. Pinero leading out Yorgamani. As Marco Pinero is praying to Italy and it's Italian internet. Just has to go just a little bit more.
Wow, okay.
15 minutes remaining in this race, and he still has to make that pit stop.
Yeah, the battle, I think Monty is kind of just eased off. He's still just right on the tail of Pinero, but he's not really, they're not really battling like they were a little bit earlier. Well, as I say that, we're going to go side by side again.
Monty looking on the outside, and Pinero onto the inside. Cars exiting the pit lane. A little bit of loose by Pinero mid-corner. Monty could get a better run right here. He's got a fresh car out of the pit lane. 2 cars battling up ahead of him. Pinero defending onto the inside. Monty looking down to the inside. He's still on a fake. He's going back out to the outside. He attacking on the outside with a brilliant sell of the fake. Pinero defending onto the inside. He decides to keep that inside line. And they stay first to second through that corner. Slow car on the outside in the grass. Stays in the grass, allowing our 2 leaders to pop on by. He heads up driving by that driver right there and heads up driving by our leaders who are really going at it after each other. So they're heading up to another bit of traffic. If I was smart, I'd head into the pit lane right now. And there goes Pinero into the pits.
Yeah, that was a smart move to get into lap traffic. And we did see one get out of the way of Monty.
Avoid the slowdown.
Don't know. Yeah, but
avoid the slowdown, head into the pits. It's very easy to do, especially if they're on the apex and you're closing in on them about 1 to 2 tenths each corner. You don't want to lose any of that time, especially when you got second place right on you. So take the pit entry, and hopefully second place did not go in. And actually, Yorgamani, when that happened, he followed Pinero into the pit lane, but he realized that Pinero was heading into the pit lane and not going on, and Monty wanted to keep on going. Had a little bit of a slide entering the penultimate corner, so I think Monty might be a little bit of a gap between him and the leader after this.
We should definitely take a look and see what happens once the pit cycle's over. You see Overstreet on the back of the 5 car against Mayer.
And Marco Pinero rejoined in 10th place ahead of Jim Brewster, chasing out Andrew Love right ahead of him. But those 2 cars that he was avoiding entering the pit lane, he has to pass them again. They're right in front of him. And guess what? It's in exactly the same spot where he's catching him.
There we go. Just get out of the way. It was nice by Jacobs that time to let him go on by. I'm sorry, that's not Jacobs. That's another Gulf Power livery there. The 215 car, I think.
The 215 of Gary Woodbolt.
Okay.
Which I just find the kind of shrewd parody of this. He avoids these cars entering the pit lane. The next lap, he has to avoid them again.
That sometimes happens when you're in racing. So how
it happens, especially on tracks that are this small, and you average a very short lap time. As Samos and Elson very send it through this lap traffic, as they're going to have a lot of fun, both going down to the inside now, looking on to the outside right now. Riding on board Felix Samos, and there is the 56 of Steven Elson. They're 3 wide right here. Watch out the inside. No. This is going to be a not happy camper for Felix after this race right now.
Yeah, he's not having a great race.
So they both pass him. He gives him the space on the outside. He just misses his braking point. That is the most unfortunate thing ever.
Yeah, that he just couldn't get that car stopped. It looked like he broke quite a bit later than everybody else. I don't know if he thought he could sneak it on the inside or not. But
no, he let them by. I think he just so used to being on the right that he missed the braking points, which I've seen this happen in real life. Drivers rely on those numbers so much that they kind of forget the backups for a braking point. So if those braking markers explode, or somebody goes through them, explode into a bunch of 1,000 little styrofoamy bits on the side of the road.
Yeah.
You will see that happen where drivers just kind of guess where it is if they don't have that backup, which is something I learned very early on, to always have a backup besides a number, because sometimes that number ain't going to be there. There's going to be another car blocking it, and you're just going to have to go by feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As we see more pit stops with Overstreet in. We actually had a Masters podium there for just a minute before Murakami came in to take his pit stop. Manny, Nelson, and Murakami were running first, second, and third during the race.
The old guard taking back the throne.
That's right. And we still got about, thinking, 7 or 8 cars left that still have yet to pit.
Yeah, most of them are in the old guard, too.
Yeah, I think so.
So they head back onto the back straightaway. You can see the...
Ooh! Too hot.
A little bit hot, maybe a little bit of a tap. I think he might have avoided it. But that was a big lockup by Jorg Mani. And this is going to be advantage Pinero. As let's get a replay of that pit entry. As this was very spicy by Bonnie. Yeah, here we go. With Jorg Mani entering the pits, running on board with him. Flying through that roller coaster. Clean pit entry. Get onto the brakes right here. First part of it was good. A little bit of straightaway. Oh, man, he is. Okay, yeah. Calm it down, calm it down, calm it.
Yeah,
okay, a little bit of a knock. A little bit of knock, but the car looks all right.
Yeah. And plus, he's still got his fast repair, so, take that.
But look at that gap to Pinero. Look at that gap to Pinero. Over 4 seconds. They were nose to tail with each other each lap, but Pinero decides to pit early and forced Mani to have an issue as Michael Nelson heads into pit lane now. I think Mani might not be in the top 3 after this.
It's very possible. So we'll see.
As you can see, our stopped times, Pinero 9 seconds, Mani 9.8 seconds. We have some drivers in 10 and 14 seconds, but the total pit time, look at that, 41.7 seconds for Pinero. 44.3 for Mani. That's all on the entry.
Yeah, I think so. I think one other thing I've seen about Pinero all season, really short pit stops. He's really good at pit entry. It seems like he maybe dials a little fuel out, is able to save a little more in the second part of the
7 tenths faster.
Yep.
7 tenths faster, stopped in the box. That gap is all on pit entry.
Yeah.
Like, he really practices pit entry, which is something. If you were in a series and that has pit entry, I would give you about at least 5 to 10 pit entry stops. Maybe do a race stint, head into the pit entry, and then reset, or use iRacing's new active reset fixture and just go at it.
Absolutely. That would be the thing I would be doing. Yeah. So yeah, obviously he's worked at it because it seems like he's always a little bit quicker than everybody during the pit cycle.
And Yanxi Lin, back after a little bit of break in the lead, has not gone into the pits yet, but I'm believing he should be heading into the pits. He's the only car out of the 43 cars here today to not head into the pits yet.
I don't know what he can make this without.
Oh, hello.
Oh no! Did somebody make contact?
I don't think he made contact, but there was a car parked right there. I'm expecting Yanxi to head into the pits this time. Just stretching out just another lap, but I do not believe he'll be able to fuel save this entire lap. Oh my gosh, he is still going on. Well, wow. If there's anybody crazy enough to go for an entire lap of just fuel saving all the way to the end, Yanxi Lin with about 6.5 second buffer to Marco Pinero. Last lap was a 103.2 compared to Marco Pinero's last lap of 102.7, 1 second per lap with 5 minutes remaining. If Yanxi Lin keeps this up, he could fuel save it, do a no-stop fuel save race for the win.
That would be incredible.
Now, we have to know if he's fuel saving or not. He is. Listen to the revs. He is full on that clutch right there. Yanxi Lin is going for it. 5 seconds, 5.9 seconds now separates him and second place. Yanxi Lin, less than 5 minutes to go from the end. Can he do it on his return?
Just trying to see how many cars he's got between him and Pinero. It's obvious in traffic.
Oh, he's gone to the pit lane. Well,
okay.
we were looking for a miracle, and we believe in miracles. Unfortunately, this is not that miracle.
No, but it should be a much quicker stop because he obviously doesn't have to take nearly as much fuel as everybody else.
But Pinero's already passed him. So.
He's not gonna keep the lead. Obviously,
it was something fun to talk about.
But it should still help him get a really good finish out of this race.
I'm gonna say he's gonna enter ace it back into about 5th place.
He's already on his way out.
Nope, there's 6th, maybe 7th. Ace's pit speed limit, and it's going to be 6th place. You know, there's Elson right behind him, and he's going to get about a 5-car gap between them. Maybe 6. Oh, a little bit of rubbing, a little bit of banging, a little bit of a... No. Kane Lasky's around. Murakami bumping a bay with each other through Charlotte's Web. And Lasky is, he's looking at the Barber Motorsports Motorcycle Museum. And this is how all that happened. And you can see Lasky looking out the inside. Murakami broke a little bit later. Lasky just gets a little bit wide. And, well, Murakami, he's just trying to stay on the track right there.
Yeah. Lasky just really didn't help him out. Second part of that chicane.
Yeah, Murakami's just trying to stay on the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that Charlotte's Web in the short layout is so weird because not a lot of drivers have that practice to do this in a racing situation. And like you said earlier on, it banks away. So it's if you send one down to the inside, chances are you're going wide.
Yeah, for sure. That's just, the nature of that corner. So yeah, it's obviously, we'll chalk that up to a little inexperience with the track. Lasky's pitting, so obviously damaged his car.
Yeah, very easy to damage, or probably just trying to clear his head.
Yep, and then Pinero's basically, still stretching that gap. So unless something weird happens, I think Pinero's got this one sewn up with a little under 2 minutes left in the race. Another 6 seconds back between Monty and Castro for second and third. Castro with a great run to get back here for this P2 in class. After the troubles he had with Lasky and Samoas earlier in the race. It's good to see him back up toward the front of the pack.
Looking at the gaps between each classes is Pinero, Monty, and Gold, your class leaders right now. Gold with respect to Monty, your Masters class, and Marco Pinero, your race leader and pro leader. It's not going to be the Masters win they were looking at, but we're looking at Dudu Castro right now, trying to chase down York Monty. Just about 6 seconds separates these two, but we're looking at the gaps between classes. 10.9 seconds to Marco Pinero up ahead of him, which is a big gap. And it's also the same gap between Monty and Murakami.
Yeah, it's the early scuffles they had at the front of the field have really just kind of stretched Pinero and Monty out far and away in front of everybody else.
We have a battle for 7th place in Masters class, though. The 905 and the 917 of Mitchell and Cathcart in a little bit of a scrap, as we have 15 seconds remaining here at Barber Motorsports Park. He's got 10 seconds to go. Marco Pinero, I would say the white flag is out for him. He's not going to make it to the line, so this is the last time that we're going to be seeing Marco Pinero around the track The checker flag is out for Marco Pinero as he comes across the front straightaway and across the line to take another victory. It's Marco Pinero with the win here today at Barber Motorsports Park. And Jorg Monty takes the win for the Masters. Student Castro in second. Chris Murakami in second in his class. Castro in third. Murakami in fourth. As here's a Spec 2 leader of Bradford Gold as he takes the class win here today and 9th overall to 297, doing a fantastic job here.
Yeah, it was a great race by him. Just kept the car clean, which is, it's half the battle when you get in these tight races like this, is just stay out of trouble. You get a good result.
Out of trouble indeed, and that's what they did. This is that battle for fourth place for Chris Montgomery that finishes ahead of Marco Trespidi. But that is it here for Barber. What a fantastic race that we were greeted to.
Absolutely, yeah, it was a fun race. Lots of battles on track. I think people are. Yeah, it was a really interesting race. I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it too, and hey, maybe this gets more iRacing people looking at it and be like, hey, Barber's a really fun time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hope this really shows that Barber's a lot of fun. Marco Pinero takes the win ahead of Jorg Monty due to Castro in third, followed by Chris Murakami, Jan Sheelan, Steven Elson, Michael Nelson, Simon Meyer, Bradford Gold, JC Green, Devin Keller, Jeff Jacobson, E. Gibson, and Jim Brewster, followed by Chris Montgomery, Marco Trespidi, Eduardo Dantas, and Don Wood in 18th. They're followed by Tom Gradwell, Kurt Nuance, Brad Cathcart, Stephen Mitchell, Luca Leone, Phil Berry, Megan Overtree, Andrew Love, Adam Bradshaw, and Gianni Longan in 28th. Behind them is Paul Jackson, Gary Woodbull, Andrea Favini, Aaron Vagley, Kane Lasky, Robert Butcher, Colin Colapitero, Ben Jacobs, Sergio Dorelli, and Felix Samoas in 37th and 38th. They're followed by Todd Hansen, Bob Kern, Trenton Kramer, and Mike Knutson, and Anthony Carbone Jr. at the end of our 43-car Great Polo Glory, and Russ Lundenberg did not take the start. And we are actually joined by, we have two interview opportunities, and Charles, I'm going to let you choose. We can either talk to our Spec 2 race winner or our Masters race winner.
I mean, if you give me a chance to talk to Jorg Monty or Master, I'm going to pick Jorg Monty, obviously,
Well,
I'm
going to let you pick Jorg Monty. And we are joined by Jorg Monty, our Masters class winner, and he's standing by with Charles.
Hey, Jorg, congratulations. Very interesting race. How did you enjoy the track and the racing on it?
I enjoy the track always. Sadly, the track has never been very popular in any kind of car, but I like it. I'm not so keen on the short version, but the racing was quite intense. And I was trying to pass Marco, so to slow him down a bit actually, because in front he's just so fast, he's just gone. And I managed that in a hairpin there, in a spider corner or whatever the name is. And it was actually quite a fun. And my usual pit stop mistake, but it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We did catch that. A little too hot coming into the pits. A little scrape of the wall, but didn't look like it damaged the car any. Yeah, it was a great battle with the beginning and during the race. It was very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it's. I thought it's going to be tougher to pass, and it was really tough because it was really on the edge. I was there in the spider corner. I was on the edge on braking, but I could manage to stay on one side and to squeeze him a bit to the left, so I had enough turn in on the next right-hander, and that was actually quite good. And I knew I had the pace because it took me the whole week to get to this pace, but it was fun. It was fun. Congrats to Marco. He's just blistering fast.
Well, thanks for joining us, Jorg. Who you want to thank today?
Yeah, of course, RaceVoice, our sponsor. You guys are doing always a fabulous broadcasting. I really like to listen to it after each race. I do that before I fall asleep. And yeah, it was a fun. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a very nice, pleasant rest of the Sunday.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was Jorg Mani, and it's a little popular in our waiting room, but the driver that we have not talked to in a long time, or if ever, is our Spec 2 race winner of Bradford Gold. Finished in 9th overall today, up 4 spots, but he won in Spec 2. Brad, how are you feeling about this race today?
Really good. That was this is my best finish ever in the SRF Weekend Warriors, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, I was trying to count down the times that we've had you in the booth, or this is the highest I've seen you up here. And
yeah,
I always like talking to the little guys, mainly because I'm one of you also.
Yeah, well, I think my I rating is going to be over 3,000, I think, by next season, so I'll be in Spec 1, probably, but yeah.
Well, if there is a performance to get you promoted, this is one of them.
Man,
Top
yeah.
10 finish. How was Barber for you today?
I practiced a lot in officials, and I ended up, I didn't get any incidents. So that's going to be bonus points in the standings. I was getting a lot of incidents over the grass and the S's over the past week, so I'm glad that the practice
pays off right there. Well, it was a fantastic race here. Are you looking forward to next week when we head to Watkins Glen?
Absolutely, yeah. I've already been test driving it. I have a whole method to getting the practice in, but yeah, still really happy with today. So thanks, guys.
I'll give you the nickname of the Mad Scientist for next week. But before next week, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah. I mean, my wife Olivia. I think she's probably watching it, or maybe my 14-month-old. They might be napping, but yeah, I'll just shout out to them. So.
Well, they're gonna be very happy when either they're watching this or waking up from their nap.
Yeah. Watch the replay.
Yeah, watch that replay. And hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Congrats on your class victory, Bradford. As I believe Charles, we have Dudu Castro in the waiting room, and he is joined by him.
All right. Dudu, so you've been kind of first, congratulations. It was a good race for you today. You've had some tough races this season, but you ended up with a really good result today.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Yeah, this season has been kind of nightmare for me. You know, some race that I could end in the first place, and for some reason, one was my reason, some other was other guys' reason, but it didn't happen. And today I didn't have pace to be with them. Marco and Jorg had to like a tenth and a half faster than myself. My intention was to be following them on the draft. Up to the pit stop and then save a little bit of fuel, and then decided everything at the end of the race. But then I got a touch again one more time, and then I lost the draft, and then I had to do an early pit because I had some damage on my car, and then I got some slower car to pass. It was kind of tough, but it was good at the end of the day. So I take this third place overall.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have anybody you want to thank today?
Well, of course, you guys do the best broadcast for sure on iRacing, and Steve. I think both guys are amazing, and my family to be patient for me to be racing on Sunday afternoon. So I think it's everyone that I need to thank. Really, thanks.
All right, congratulations. You did a great result today.
Thank you, my friend.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for another wonderful Spec Racer 4 Weekend Warriors race here from Barber Motorsports Park. Next week, we head over to New York for Watkins Glen. It's going to be one awesome time up there for all of us here on Apex Racing TV and all the drivers out there on track. We want to say thank you for joining us here for this week for the SRF Weekend Warriors presented by RaceVoice. I've been joined by Charles Bushell with Jonathan Grabowski. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.